everyone, I'm Robert Menzies, welcome back to my channel. Today I am here talking to you about my new birthday present, which is the Helite GP Air Vest. So in this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through, show you the vest a little bit. What we're also going to do is talk about the good points and the bad points of this vest and why it's worthwhile getting. What I'm also going to do is talk you through what it actually is, what it looks like, what's on the vest, and then stay tuned because actually I have a discount voucher for you as well, so you can get £50 off your vest if you want to go and buy one. So first of all, just running you through the vest. This is the back of the vest. So what we've got here is elements of the airbag that are at the back. This is obviously from Helite, so you get the Helite element that is on it. You actually start feeling some of the stiff elements start with the inbuilt back protectors that's actually in this vest before the airbag looks to deploy, so it's already got inbuilt protection. And probably the main bit to notice on this vest is obviously the cutout here, which is for your speed hump on the back of your race suit, which is the reason why I'm wearing my race suit today. So as I put it on, you can see what that looks like. One of the really good features that you do have on this one as well is you do actually have some impact zones that are here on the back of the vest. So the expectation is if you were falling off your bike, then basically you're at a situation where you've got something that is actually going to protect the product, which as you can see is actually on Velcro, so you can just literally peel it off, Velcro some new ones on, away you go. So a really great idea to have something that's there that is a bit more of a disposable element of the vest. So that's the back of the vest. We then also have expansion points at the side, and then as we come around to the front of the vest, what you can see is that we have a chest protector. This is all going to lock into place using basically the Velcro, and I'll show you that as we put it on in a minute. But you'll also notice quite a small area here just for the top part of your chest in comparison to the longer part for your back. Now, talking about this sizing, what I will do is add in here a sizing guide that you get out of the Helite brochure. So basically look out for that one. I will be putting that one up here somewhere so you can see it. But yeah, really important for this one for me. I'm not the smallest guy, so I'm nearly 6 foot and I'm 16 stone. So for this one, what we've actually got is the extra large from a size point of view, but we also have the long version as well to make sure that it sits in the right place. And I'll talk to you a little bit more in this video around making sure that it is the right length for you. So what I'm now going to do is put this on, show you how to put it on, show you some of the difficulties with putting it on, and we're also going to show you how it fits as well, so that links in nicely with that size guide. So let's get to it. So first thing we need to do is unvelcro the front. Peel off that Velcro so it's nice and open. Right, so fun part. First time I tried to put this vest on, I failed miserably, and let me show you why. So if I put this over my shoulder, as you would do if you were putting on something like a high-vis vest, you then go with your race suit on to try and see if you can put your arm in the other side and get it to come up. And for me, that doesn't work at all. I can't really get any further past that. It was really uncomfortable. However, there is a really easy way to put this on. And the way to put this vest on is above your head and let it drop down into position. So let's do that. Ooh, bang my hat there. As you can see, immediately drop down. That's actually the way to take it off as well. So basically peel it off over your head. It's then really easy on, really easy off. So there we go. As we can see here, let's do my suit up properly so we can then put this all together. So what we need to do basically is be at a stage where we are going to peel this one over and we're going to make sure it fits into position. And what you will notice here, and I'm just going to tuck this bit of Velcro out of the way, is we have a red area. So if any of the red area is showing when you basically put the vest on, then you've got a problem, it's the wrong size and you need to go for a larger size. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not the smallest of guys. I've actually gone for the extra large size, so again you can get a feel for that. So we get the bottom of the vest, pull that across, and we basically Then make sure we have a good fit, it's completely covering that red. We're then going to peel out and put on the lower element. We'll grab the higher element, and there we go. Vest is now on. If I turn around, you can see that basically that is now fitted nicely over the speed hump, in the same way fitted here on the front. So what can we see? First of all, we've got chest. So the chest area is protected, so if you should come off the bike, no need for the airbag to actually deploy here, because this is protecting you from hitting your windscreen, or if you're going over the handlebars, that's going to give you a protection. Your canister for deployment is actually here, and as we can see here, what we've also got is the tether. Now this actually goes to a tether strap that you fix to the bike, so this is a completely mechanical system. It's not an electronic system, and for me I think that's a real advantage, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. If I then turn to the side, what we can see is we've got the expansion elements that are here, but more importantly what we can see is from a chest point of view, it's not really going to be limiting my movement too much when I'm on the bike, because actually it's above your belly button line here, so it's giving you movement down to your waist to be able to get into the race position on the bike. What we can also see from the back perspective, that back is coming down, so it's really coming down, it's covering literally all of my back, and it is coming down to basically the top of my bum, and yeah, that's now protected and is giving me full coverage, and is an even better position when I'm actually leaning forward in race position on a motorbike, and not that that's race position, but you know what I mean. So that gives you a bit more on the fitting of the vest. So let's go on to talk to you a little bit more around the good and the bad points, and we're going to start off with the good points. So what are the good things we like about this vest? Number one, unlike any vest that you'll get that are inside your suit, because this is on the outside of the suit, this has got greater capacity and therefore gives you greater protection. So from that point of view, this is a 17 litre airbag, and the 17 litres actually gives you the same amount of support and coverage as 40 back protectors. So that is really fantastic. Other thing is they really live and breathe by their products, so they actually give you a 4-year manufacturer's warranty. Yes, 4 years worth of manufacturer's warranty. Probably one of the other things that's really great about this vest as well is I actually think the mechanical deployment of this vest, and also the fact that you can basically do this yourself, is one of the best elements that you have with this vest. So talking about the deployment and being able to reset it, this is actually a spare canister that you use for the vest. Currently that is sat in here. You can gain access to it. When we take the vest off, you literally velcro that out, and you can get access to the trigger mechanism inside the vest. But that is basically it. So one word of warning though, obviously anything to do with this vest has what is basically an explosive gas canister in it, as all air vests do. So you do need to be very careful from a point of view of if you're trying to move this anywhere. You can't put this in the post, you can't send this with a parcel carrier. So if for any reason you're sending this vest anywhere for repairs or anything of that kind of nature, you have to take that bit out. As you can see, it's just an unscrew, so you'll be able to unscrew it. And again, if it deploys, this is one of the real benefits. You can unscrew, screw back in, and you're up and running again in no time. But really important, you can't send this in the post, you can't send this with a parcel carrier. It's actually breaking the law to do so. This is deemed as dangerous goods, would you believe? So that means you might actually be at a situation where your vest gets confiscated by the carrier or the postal service, and they might have to dispose of it if you haven't got the correct regulations and requirements. Boring stuff, but really important. You don't want to have a very expensive vest thrown in the bin. So let's put this canister down a minute. Right, next thing I wanted to show you, this is the lanyard that basically goes on your bike. So we've got this loop area here where you can fit, and obviously what you want to do is mount this onto a main strut of your bike, And once you've got it mounted on the main strut of your bike, you want to adjust it so that you've got enough room to be able to obviously move around on your bike and also lift out the saddle to a certain extent. Now, one of the advantages you do have about this mechanical system, if we consider tracks such as Cadwell Park, if you're a really great rider and you're at a situation where you go over the mountain at Cadwell Park and your bike jumps in the air, your body lifts out of the seat, and then you come down and land the bike perfectly fine and continue that motion of jumping and lifting out of the seat, you can find with the non-mechanical systems that that'll actually trigger the airbag because it thinks you're having a crash when you're zooming up in the air. With this one you don't, you've just got to make sure that you've got it to the right settings. As you can see, there is a bit of stretch there as well, so you've got to allow for that. So again, you want to be at a situation where you know that that extra bit is going to be the bit that's going to help you deploy. Once you've added that to your bike, how do we add that to the vest? Ooh, this is the difficult bit. Yeah, that was difficult, wasn't it? So the bit you've got to be careful of is as you get off the bike at the end of the track, you've been zooming around your track day or your race, you come to the end of that, you want to get off your bike, obviously you're attached. So you do need to just be a little bit careful there, just to make sure, okay, before I get off the bike, I'm just going to detach myself so I don't deploy my vest. Apparently it does take 30 kilograms of force so that you can actually deploy the vest, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just basically make sure that if you feel that tug, that you do unclip yourself. Let's put this one down as well. Final good point that I'd really like to say about this airbag, once it deploys, and I'm going to stick a photo up here so you can see it, is actually not only does this deploy and puff out so that it's covering all of your back, but it actually comes up behind your neck, over your shoulders, you get a full deployment. I think it does also come down in front here as well. But one of the really great bits is as it deploys, this puffs up around your neck and puffs up at the back of your neck. What that means when you've got a crash helmet on is basically your head is completely immobilised at the point that you're having a crash, which is really great because not only is now your back protected and you're making sure that everything is exactly where it should be, but at the same time your head is protected. So if you imagine a worst case scenario where you've had a high side, you're doing your Superman impression through the air, you're going to come down and land on your back, which potentially could be really, really painful. You're now going to be coming down on the equivalent of 40 back plates. Your head is going to be restricted by the airbag as well, so you're not going to really be zooming around and giving yourself an amount of whiplash. Really, really well supported, and then obviously the crash helmet's there to do its job as well. So from that point of view, that is a really, really great feature. Now moving on to some of the bad features that I don't like about this vest, and a few things that I want to talk to you about. So, number one, this vest I think is fantastic if you're to have a high side. However, not sure it's going to be really that great if you have a low side. Why am I saying that? If we look to the side, consider what's going to happen in a low side. It's highly likely that you're going to be heading into a corner. As you're going into a corner, you're either leaning over or you're braking, and then you lose the front. And the bike goes and you're going to fall over sideways. You're not going to fall on your back, you're not going to fall on your front, you're going to fall on your side. From that point of view, I'm completely reliant on my standard race suit. So yes, I've got great protection on my shoulders, yes, I've got protection on my arms, and yes, this is what my race suit is here for, as well as hip protection. So the idea is if I'm close to the ground already, I've been leaning over, and then all of a sudden I lose the front, then hopefully my normal suit is going to help me. However, the airbag vest will deploy, but it's not really actually going to protect me because I've got nothing here. There's no airbag on the side, so it's not really going to help. Now theoretically, you can argue, do I really need an airbag where it's going off? There's another argument that says if you have some of the other airbags, like an undersuit airbag, that do have some deployment in the side, then yeah, okay, that might be helpful, but actually if you're going around what is potentially a slow hairpin corner, you lose that front, it might be a slow speed corner, then obviously you might fall off and might actually not want your airbag to deploy. Certainly on an undersuit one where you might need to send it back to a different country to have it reset, you might be a bit upset about that one. But for this one, I do see it as a bit of a negative if you were in a situation where perhaps it was a high speed, low side, and you really wanted that protection. You're only protecting your neck, your back, your front, you're not really protecting your side, so you could still potentially be struggling from collarbone impact. That might still be a problem. So that's one of the bad points. Next bad point I will mention is actually part of the design for this vest is to work around the speed hump. Let me quickly turn around. So as you can see, the speed hump fits perfectly around the vest. That's really, really great. However, part of the problem is the airbag vest and the actual hard part of the vest is not there for protecting you where the speed hump is. The only thing that's there is the speed hump. Now if you were to fall off your bike, let's say again you did a high side, you're in your Superman impression in the air, you would expect that when you come down and land, you're going to land on tarmac, and from that point of view the airbag will deploy and help you, and potentially if someone was to ride into you, then again that airbag is going to help you. However, if the absolute worst was to happen and you were to go up and come down and land on a handlebar or a footbag and actually land on top of your bike, potentially you could find yourself in a situation where you're landing on that speed hump where you have no back protection. So theoretically, and it's down to personal choice, if that's a concern for you, you may actually want to wear a normal back protector below or on the inside of your race suit, so you've got some protection just in case that would happen. Personally for myself, I think it's really, really remote and I'm probably not going to do that, but just something you should be aware of if you're looking for complete and utter protection. One other thing that you might want to consider as well, at the moment I'm in my full race suit. I do actually have a normal textile jacket that I wear for out on the road. I do find that this fits over that textile jacket. It's actually an RST jacket as well that has a speed hump. One of the problems is actually what we were talking about, a positive thing, so having this airbag here that is going to inflate if the worst should happen, unfortunately does dig in your neck a bit. Now, from being in a race perspective and being in the riding position and leaning forward, all of that weight and all of that pushing that you feel from basically having the airbag suit on, you don't really feel it at all, to be honest. But when you're more upright like I am now, or stood up, or potentially if you were using this on more of a super naked bike where you're in a more of an upright position, I would suggest you go and try the airbag vest on first, because you might actually find that that digs in the back of your neck. So again, worthwhile making sure that you've got an undersuit on when you're on track, having something around your neck, because I've actually got a t-shirt on underneath, but this is just making sure that the airbag vest isn't actually rubbing on my skin and I can look and move around without any problem whatsoever. But just something to be considered of if you were looking to use this on track and perhaps a bit of road riding as well. You want to make sure that's not going to upset you by that being there. Next thing I would like to mention is I had a real long debate when it came to airbag styles and whether I should go for something that goes over my race suit or under my race suit. Now you can go to Denisi and Alpine Stars, they do under race suits which are actually triggered electronically. We talked about that electronic trigger earlier on, that sits under the race suit and basically doesn't give you any real protection until it inflates, but obviously it can't inflate as much as this airbag because of basically it's got to inflate under your suit and you don't want your suit to pop and actually reduce your protection. The one thing you do find though, I know I'm wearing this, I can feel it. Obviously when I'm going to then be sitting on the bike, my normal riding position on a sports bike is to be very laid forward. I anchor myself with my stomach on the tank. I'm going to be able to feel that is there, and you are going to notice that you're wearing it. So just something for consideration. If that's a real problem for you, if you've already got some kind of chest protection already, you're probably aware of it, but something if you are not used to having chest protection, you are going to notice, you can notice you're wearing something. From a back point of view, not really a problem. Obviously you're used to wearing back protection anyway, so not really an issue, but I would say for the front you are going to notice it a bit. One other small thing as well, and this is calling out all of you racers out there, if you are racing and you're looking to get an airbag vest, I actually have on the back of my leathers what would be, never been racing, but what would be my racing name. So I've got a leather stitched on name on the back. As you will notice, you can't see it. Of course, you're wearing a vest over the top. So if you're wearing a vest over the top, you can't see your racing name anymore. So I'm so glad I got that stitched into my leathers, because you can't see it anymore. So it's a really small thing, but just something you should be aware of. Okay, so the final bit that I'm going to do is just talk to you about discount. So just to make you aware, I actually bought this vest from Love Life and Ride, the website. I would highly recommend it. The service is absolutely fantastic. You can either go and try it on and pick it up from them directly, or you can order it on their website and they will deliver it to you. So obviously a really great service. I personally went and tried this one on because I wanted to make sure I got the sizing right, and I did actually get the sizing wrong and needed to go up from a large to an extra large, so I'm glad I did that. But yeah, we do have a discount for you, so I'm very happy to say I'll put it, where should I put it? Let's put it up here. What I'm also going to do is obviously link it down in the description so that you can come and grab it from there as well, and I'll also put their website so you can go and have a play. So there's not only this airbag vest, there is also road versions, I think they call it the Turtle. So go and have a look at the road versions, go and have a look at the track version that this one is, and then you can decide which one's for you. As I said, £50 off. Hey, how good's that? Now I will say it gives me £15 back, so you get a discount, I get a discount. This thing does basically need to go in for a service after a couple of years of use, so it gives me a bit of money to help pay for my service. So just so that you're aware, but it gives you £50 off. Yeah, so go enjoy, basically. Okay, now for the really comical part, we've got to get this thing off. So we're going to have a bash on doing that. As I mentioned, the best way of getting this thing off is over your head. If I manage to keep this cap on while I'm doing that, I will be amazed, but there is no other way of getting this thing off, and let me show you that. So we're going to take these off. When you're taking it off, peel top to bottom. I was talking to you earlier on around that gas canister that we were looking at. There she is, so there's the gas canister. Here's the trigger mechanism that's there. So there's plenty of other videos, and let me know if you want to see a video talking about how we reset the gas canister. So log that one in the comments if you're interested. But yeah, basically here's your gas canister. As we said, just wind it out, wind the new one back in, reset the, well basically it's like a ball bearing that gets pulled out, and basically you're good to go. So just putting that back together again, nice bit of Velcro that's there. Again, if I try and take this, it's not going anywhere. You really struggle to get over that speed hump. So basically, what we're going to do, same way as on the wheel. We go over the head. See, I told you there was no chance that I was ever going to be keeping on that hat. Let's try that again. So it's off. So probably it's not the most dignified way of taking it off, but it is the easiest way of taking it off. In particular, getting over that speed hump, yeah, it can be quite difficult. So here we go, the Helite GP race vest. Hope that gave you a bit more information, hope you like the review. I'm going to be off to a track day at Donington at the end of the month. I will of course be taking the GoPro and will be vlogging while we basically use the vest, so you can come along with me, watch me on track on what is going to be a new bike for this year, the Small Boys hire track bike of the ZX636. So it's going to be interesting to be on a Kawasaki and basically be back on a 600 again, so let's see how that one goes, but that will be wearing the vest. So please look out for future videos. If you have liked this, please do like and subscribe. If you're into track days, there's going to be loads more coming. I'm going to be doing a track day a month throughout the year, so please do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you catch up on all of the other videos that I'm going to be making. Thank you very much for your time, and see you again real soon.
This video is brought to you using the GoPro Hero Black 5. If you'd like to have your own, please click on my affiliate link in the description below. Please be aware any purchases made will supply me with a small commission. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and see you again for another video very soon.